About a year ago, I was at a point in my life where I really wanted to give up. It was similar to this day. It's cold. I'm kind of sick right now, so I apologize, but it was cold, dark gray, and I was just a bit lost. I felt undeserving of life. I felt that I shouldn't be here, and I didn't want to be here. Through a combination of, the way my life had been going, and I've always been one of high accountability. Everything to me, every situation that I'm in life has always been a result of a decision that I have made. Every position that I'm in, every struggle I have, I played a role in it, even if someone else did. But this time of my life, I was struggling really bad. There were nights that I would sit and I truly just did not want to see the next day. I truly didn't want to see the next day. It took someone very close to me to tell me that you have to forgive yourself, that you have to give yourself some grace. That really helped me get through this time in my life. This time of the year especially, and I've talked about this before, is a good time to reflect. I think we do this naturally. Also, I think a lot of people struggle with seasonal depression. A lot of things just somehow tend to fall on us around this time of the year as we get close to the holidays. And it's interesting because this is a time of the year that usually is characterized by, everyone in holiday spirit, everyone supposed to be happy, seeing family, loved ones. But there's just something about this time of the year that really can get us down, can create a medium that allows us to get into a dark period in our life. Some of that reflection can take us down deep, dark places. I was in this phase also in my life. I had hurt people. I had hurt myself. I was just struggling mentally and physically too. It's just waking up each day was very difficult. Having to, get to work, going through the week, kind of expecting the pain, the issues ahead, the worry, the anxiety. It was just all piling up on me. I had been through phases of this before in my life. I always tried to think of each phase as almost like sparring. You get through a phase of difficulty and it prepares you for the next phase. But there was something difficult or different about this time last year that I really came close to breaking. And I want to talk to you guys about that because I know that many other people are going through the same thing. You may feel lonely this time of the year. Loneliness is not really something that happens just from not being around people. Oftentimes loneliness comes when you're around people. Oftentimes loneliness comes when you are in a state of mind, you have things that you're going through and you feel like you can't express them to other people and you feel like you can't connect with other people. That's where loneliness comes from. It's not just being around people. You can be around crowds of people and still feel lonely. I felt that way myself. I felt that some of the things that I had been going through, I couldn't speak to anyone about them. People talk about men crying and such, but there were many nights where, I wouldn't let anyone see this, but there were many nights where, I broke down and I just, I had to let that out. The gym, I talk about having positive outlets, coping mechanisms. The gym was a struggle and it wasn't helping me in the way that I had hoped because oftentimes I'd go in there with these thoughts on my mind. I couldn't escape them. I know many other people are going through that, especially this time of the year. You may be feeling down in your life. You may be feeling lonely. You may be feeling behind. But just as I was told, guys, you got to forgive yourself. You got to forgive yourself for the decisions that you've made, the point in time in life that you're at, the position that you're in. No one's perfect, guys. You can't beat yourself up about that because many people go through that. I think there's some expectation that we're supposed to be perfect and we're supposed to get everything right. But that's just not the case. That's not the case. And I don't know how it's got to this point, but I feel like in this day and age, we beat ourselves up so much more perhaps than ever. I don't know what the generations before have done, but I feel like now we beat ourselves up quite a bit. And we have these high expectations to, the state of mind. We're supposed to be strong and everything. And I preach about that on this channel, and I do want this to be a channel about having strength and being able to get through difficult things. But also you got to acknowledge you got to acknowledge the struggles. You got to acknowledge your struggles. You got to acknowledge the difficult things that you go to. But you got to forgive yourself, guys. You got to give yourself some grace. You're not perfect. No one's perfect. We all make mistakes that not only affect us, but affect other people around us. It's easy to forgive other people, but it's very difficult to forgive yourself. Your mind, you can't escape it. It tends to find every reason to blame us, to blame ourselves for, you know, stuff that's happened. It's difficult to forgive yourself for being where you are, but you know, the impact that you create on the world around you, you got to give yourself grace. So this time of the year, guys, keep that in mind. You know, I know we all can be going through something difficult right now, but we have to keep going. You know, don't let the thoughts that you're going through one day destroy you. Don't let them destroy you, because they absolutely can. Every time I find myself in a difficult situation, I always try to remind myself of this one thing. I'm going to say this and I'm going to end it. I always try to remind myself of one thing. I have faced many mountains before. I stood at the bottom of many mountains before. Difficult situations that I felt that I wasn't going to be able to get through. Difficult situations that I thought that I would succumb to, I would crack, and that I would perhaps do something that would result in me not making it to that next day. You know, I got to be careful about saying that on YouTube, but there were many days that I have faced that way, but I have gotten through each one of them. And you are hearing me talk today because I have gotten through each one of them. And no matter how difficult that situation has seemed, there is sunshine on the other side of the rain. There usually is always sunshine on the other side of the rain. And I try to remind myself that. Sunshine on the other side of the rain. I tell myself that. It just comes up. That you may be standing below a mountain right now, facing something that you don't think you're going to be able to get through. But think about it this way. You've gotten through many of those before. This time, whatever you're going through right now, you're going to get through that again. Have faith in yourself. Cry it out. You know, cry it out. Let it out. If you can talk to someone, I definitely do advise you to not have that fear, to go to someone close, go to someone you trust, and let it out, guys. Even on here, if you want to express something that you're going through that's difficult in your life right now, I'm here for you. You know, that's what this channel is all about. I want to build a community around that where people will have a safe space to go. And remember that you've gotten through many of these challenges before, and you'll get through this one. So just keep your head in it. All right, until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Take care of yourselves.